folks, welcome back to your daily reading. Today I am using the Light Seers Tarot and I'm working with a gravelly voice. Please excuse me. Today I've laid your cards out in a Celtic cross formation and we're dealing with a little bit of an interesting story today, it looks like. The central theme is someone is moving quickly in some particular way, maybe not an action yet, but they're making real plans. This is air on air energy. This is the Knight of Swords. This is thinking, planning, talking in a direction towards moving towards something. And specifically, this particular knight is running for his transport. In this particular case, it's a motorcycle. Getting away fast or heading towards something very, very quickly, I see. This is someone who's exploring new ways of thinking, exploring new ways of talking. This is exciting. This is stuff that is moving more quickly than maybe even you expected it to move because it is air on air energy, okay? Now here's what is both challenging you and, well, what's mostly a challenge, because in this particular case, something is growing from the past and you see it growing now. And I'm telling you now that it's going to grow into the future. That the consequences of something in the past, or just the natural results, what follows after a particular behavior, is going to have a domino effect into the future, just so that you be aware. You do deserve to know the truth, especially because I see that someone might be leaving a family. Might be leaving a family that, at least it might be the image of a happy family, at least to the public, at least to the people who don't live in the home. You might be leaving a situation that everybody else would say would be the perfect family type of situation. And I'll talk more about why I see you leaving. The Knight of Swords is our first hint that the person being discussed in this particular spread is leaving and at the very least the image of a family that looks perfect on the surface, but in fact may have some real issues underneath. Take that as it resonates. It may not have that many issues. You just might be bored out of your skull of living this particular life, and you're ready to move on to something new. This is consciously. You're starting a love affair, possibly. At the very least, it's a brand new emotional pursuit that you're throwing your heart into, quite possibly. And I say throwing your heart into it because, well, here you've got the Page of Cups, and then also you've got Knight of Swords energy rushing towards something. Now, there is some degree of groundedness here. This is water on earth energy. And it gives a sense of something growing. This is quite possibly a pregnancy for some people watching this. And guess what appears in my subconscious position? It's the Empress. So for a lot of people, somebody just found out that they're pregnant by their new partner. Possibly. You need to take this as it resonates. Maybe you're in a happy family and you're moving quickly towards this new pregnancy, but I get in this particular case that this is a new love entirely that is different from this established Ten of Cups energy that I kind of get from the mood of that particular card. It may be that you feel like you're being treated like the Empress, the Queen that you deserve, the goddess that you deserve to be treated as by this new love partner. And maybe you can't exactly put a finger on it, but something about this new romance just makes you feel loved and pampered and cared for. And it may be that you haven't discovered that you're pregnant yet. You might suspect that there's something going on that might clue you in to the fact that you could be pregnant. Okay, the fact that you could be, the possibility that you might be pregnant. Okay, but with those two cards together, traditionally, that would be a really powerful indication that somebody's pregnant when you're reading their tarot cards, okay? Just keep that in mind. And you might not be someone who has any interest in kids. You might not even be interested in using your uterus at all. You might not have a uterus, okay? But just keep in mind that at the very least, this person is treating you really, really well, that this is a bright, new, emotional adventure for you, if not a brand new romance. We can at least say that, okay? Now in the future, this is where I got this whole leaving thing, making plans to leave there with the Knight of Swords, gradually growing those particular plans over time, and then actually leaving this Ten of Cups situation that I see here in the past. Now with the Seven of Pentacles, be aware that leaving is still going to be painful. Walking away is still going to be painful. In the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith, all 8 cups are still upright. They've not been spilled on the ground, which suggests to me that you still have you're still leaving some bits of your heart behind in this Ten of Cups situation appearing in the past. This might be the end of an era that you wished had come true. These might be dreams that you've kind of left behind of actually being the cute Instagram perfect family. First of all, those don't exist, okay? Those are highly edited pictures, and I know that on the surface we know that, but it often doesn't occur to us what goes on behind closed doors when a family forms, right? Gradually over time, things happen, habits form, and sometimes it's for the worse. There's you leaving. This is a possibility, you in the future, and it's a pretty strong possibility there with the Knight of Swords. Now it's going to be up to you to actually make this happen, if indeed it is something that you want to happen. I see with your advice card that you've got a lot of anxiety. Excuse me. You've got a lot of anxiety around this particular situation, around leaving specifically. But here's your outcome. Something about your High Priestess energy emerges. Now that's kind of interesting because I consider these two cards to be two sides of the same coin. Traditionally, the High Priestess comes first. There is the possibility that she could be pregnant, or at least there's the possibility that she's fertile enough that it could get that process started. But with the Empress, the other side of the coin, she's actually pregnant, and it's clear to people now. Birth is imminent. Now, the Empress for you came out first, possibly pointing to a literal pregnancy for you, possibly. Okay, at the very least, you're being treated very well by this new person. But with the High Priestess, that's you coming into your intuitive energy. That's you coming into a spiritual journey, if you will, genuinely starting it and starting to recognize yourself as the magical person that you are, the person who's been born many lifetimes over again and maybe born many lifetimes over in the future if you don't come into enlightenment, if you don't come into nirvana, okay? You could leave this particular situation that is obsolete, that is no longer serving you, but keep in mind that while it will hurt to leave, you have the opportunity to come into your power as the High Priestess. Start listening to your intuition, and we'll talk more about that in just a second, because you've got another card that points to listening to your intuition. But this is in your current environment. Your spirit guides, your ancestors, the universe, the deity, the deities that you may worship are leading you down this path. You need to follow their guidance closely as you start this particular journey, because it's not always going to be easy, as evidenced in the Eight of Cups. And yet, this Hierophant card suggests that this is a journey, a spiritual journey well worth undertaking. It will be a long one. It might last the rest of your life. It might not. It will branch off and change as you make choices, as you choose to follow your guides or not, as you choose to grow into your highest good or choose not to, okay? This is going to be highly dependent on your choices, but you can bring this. Your guides are leading you into your best and your highest good. In your hopes and your fears, you've got the Queen of Cups. And this is what I was talking about when it comes to intuition. I see you as someone who's possibly afraid to listen to their intuition, because you're afraid of what you're going to hear and know to be the truth, but you don't want it to be the truth. You don't want to admit to yourself yet that it is the truth. There might be some things that you discover about your family, because the universe gives you information about them that will help guide your leaving process. That doesn't mean that it will be less painful. I don't think it will be, but I think that you're afraid of listening to your intuition. Your intuition bears the truth, and this is practice. The Queen of Cups can become practice for you to come into your High Priestess energy, someone who knows and feels the truth when it comes to them, exactly when it comes to them, when the universe brings it to them, and acts on it when it's time to. Okay? Kind of interesting. This love affair, this new love affair, is guiding you down a path that maybe you didn't expect to be guided down when you started this particular family. I'm getting not at all. But in any case, follow it. See where it takes you. Let the universe, I'm pulling up the Hierophant card, let the universe guide you, and it's going to be okay. You will come to your highest good. It'll take hard work, but it's well worth doing. Okay. Thank you for putting up with my voice. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you for listening. Take care.